Welcome, my friends, to a podcast that's been described as
emotional
and
terrifying.
one guy even said it was
So awesome it will shock you to the core.
finally another podcast about Godzilla and all his giant monster friends.
This could be the end of civilization.
Yeah, probably. So join your hosts, Cass and Slick.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You're listening to the podcast. From Odo Island. Ho, 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 and welcome to the podcast from Odo Island. That's why I had to redo it. Follow us on Twitter at Odo Island Pod. I'm Kess. With me, as always, is a man on who you can always find tap dancing at Rotary Halls and weekends, Mr. Slick.
Tiny snickles I make all week.
I also hear you do inspections for the New York City government.
Oh, is this another Boardwalk Empire reference?
Oh, no, I was tying into the movie.
Oh, right.
Some great Charles Grodin lines.
There's so much in this movie.
So yeah, we watched Kong 1976, the Dino Di Laurentis movie.
Yep.
For this episode, our annual Kong Kristmas.
This is our third Kong Kristmas? Yes, I think it is. Yeah.
And we'll get to the movie, but you know, you got anything you'd like to start
Set the table?
Well, I was going to say you like to start things off with anything.
Well, I don't have any exciting news items. Well, I don't know. I guess right before we recorded, I sent this to you that IDW Comics is doing Godzilla versus the Power Rangers next year. I know.
It's about time. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've
you get that nice Godzilla versus Dragonzord graphic. It's like, give me that.
Yeah, I don't mess with the comics too much here. You know, I'll pick a few up here and there, but I will also probably skip that one. But maybe that's for you.
I was thinking this definitely intrigues me. I would want to read these.
Yeah, well, the good thing is like you can get comics pretty easily virtually now. So you don't want to.
Well, I'd like them to have them physically too. Yeah. I think that's something I would. Yeah, right up my alley.
Yeah, the Godzilla comics I've gotten physically either like in collected form or like I don't really do too much of the single issues anymore. You can't get everything. Yeah. You know, can't get everything. Too much out there.
I understand. Yeah, I'm not a completionist, but I do. I collect what I can, but I wouldn't really collect it. I would just want it to read it and enjoy it.
I got enough bag clips to chase down. Right. You know, I can't wear comics into this. Come on.
I don't think I would go too far deep into the comics. I might get. I know you've recommended that I get into some of them, but I just haven't yet.
Yeah, pretty much just Half Century War and like Godzilla in Hell. Those are good. But although I do think one day we should cover the ridiculous Marvel Godzilla comic series from the 70s because that's. He gets shrunken down to like rat size at one point, and then he like grows gradually for a couple of issues, and he like fights the Fantastic Four in a museum. It's so ridiculous. And then he has like when he is like store rat size, he fights a rat in a store.
Cool.
Just like it's like fighting a giant rat. I don't know.
Does he still have his powers?
Oh yeah, he's just shrunk down. That's
cool.
all.
All right, kicked his ass. All right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this movie, Kong 76. What a movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like a tale of two movies almost. Like for one thing, I think it looks fantastic. Like I thought every scene just looked like the island was breathtaking, like the scenes with like the little overpass thing that they were running through. I was just like, wow, I would love to be at that beach right now.
Well, two of those things you said leading great into the background, the setting the table,
yes,
if you will. So, came out in 1976. The birth of the blockbuster movie had just happened with Jaws, which was already out. And this movie focused on the energy crisis. But taking a step back, Universal approached RKO about doing doing a remake of of King Kong. And according to Universal, RKO gave a verbal agreement to do a remake of King Kong. However, unbeknownst to Universal, RKO had just recently signed a deal with Di Laurentis in Paramount to make what would ultimately become Kong 76.
Mm-hmm.
So Universal sues RKO and Paramount over this issue. And RKO's defense says, to go back to another Randy Orton reference, Universal's hearing voices in their head. We didn't really have a deal. And, then obviously Universal's like, we have a signed deal, so we should be able to make this. Ultimately, the judge ruled that Paramount had the rights to make a film. However, it was also ruled that RKO had the rights to the 1933 film.
Yes.
They did not have the rights to the promotional 1932 novel, which had the same story. That had lapsed and that had become public domain.
Yes. Yeah.
So Universal was going to essentially make a movie based off the novel, which is essentially the 1933 film. And they were going to call that The Legend of King Kong. But however, the rights to Kong, the character, reverted to Marion C. Cooper's kid. I think it was Robert Cooper was his name. And so ultimately now Paramount rushes Kong 76 into production. And Legend of Kong starts to take some steps, but they're both like trying to beat each other to the punch. Ultimately, Universal just goes, this is like too much of like a legal entanglement. And they decide to just kind of back out, leaving the way for Kong 76 to move ahead. But they put a bunch of self-imposed deadlines on themselves for a certain release date. And so now the entire production is being rushed. And the suit, like the main suit that was used, was nobody was happy with the suit. Outside of like the expressions, got like the actor's eyes.
Yeah.
But other than just like that was like his actual eyes behind the suit.
Oh, I thought the face. I thought the face was like animatronics and shit.
Oh, so like some of it is like the nose, but like
okay, all right.
But like with like the eyes and stuff, he has like contact lenses like over his eyes. So he was able to be like very emotive with like the face. On top of that, but like other than that, nobody was happy with the suit.
Interesting.
And then also there's you only see it in a couple scenes because it didn't work.
Oh, I know
the animatronic King Kong,
the giant like life-size one,
40 feet tall,
yeah,
cost $1.5 million to make, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and you only see him drop like the chains when he's escaping.
Right, and like they used it for like publicity photos and stuff, but like that was like pretty much it. But this movie had an entire budget of about $20 to $23 million, and $1.5 million went to that. And you kind of mentioned the set. The wall on the island was $800,000 to make that wall.
Wow! And
it took like basically the entire crew like something like 2 or 3 months to construct it.
Yeah.
And so almost another $1 million went to that.
But in their defense, they did a great job with it.
Sure.
Because that was just phenomenal.
Yeah. So it did ultimately make $90 million.
So it was very profitable.
It was, but it was not, it didn't meet the expectations.
It didn't make what they wanted to, but it was still profitable.
And so, it was, so it was a disappointment in the sense that it didn't make what they were expecting it to make. And so also that's other little interesting things. Jessica Lange won a Golden Globe for playing Dwan.
It's her first feature film appearance too.
Yep. When it went to TV, there's an extended cut of this movie that was used on TV, and I think what the movie is like 2 hours and 15 minutes. The extended cut runs without commercials. It runs for 3 hours.
Wow.
So, but like a lot of like the deleted scenes like aren't like super notable. It's kind of like the extensions of like certain scenes.
There's some scenes that are kind of decent though. There's one where Charles Grodin gets stepped on by King Kong.
Yeah, then you see the hat fall.
You see the hat, but there's no blood.
Right.
So I think he lives.
He just
but they cut it out so he looks like he dies. Also, there's a car that drives up to Kong and like picks it up and throws it through a building.
Yeah, that's the best.
That was so awesome.
That was the best scene. And then finally of my random background, I thought this was nifty. So Kong's roar is just lifted from like some old like kind of stock roar, but like when like Kong makes like some like kind of more like small grunts and stuff like that, that was done by Peter Cullen. Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen, uncredited, doing the grunts of King Kong in this movie.
Interesting.
So there you go.
So another thing I want to mention is, are you all done with the table setting?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna light the candles.
All right.
The composer of the soundtrack, John Barry, he's a very well known composer. He did a lot of the James Bond movies in the 60s and 70s with Sean Connery and Roger Moore era.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh.
And this, I thought the soundtrack was like really good.
I was gonna say the music I thought was like really good, especially like it was like One Piece. I can't remember when it was, but I just remember like it really stuck out to me. It was like damn, it's like this soundtrack is like
it's very good, and you can like sing along to a lot of it. Like at the beginning where it's like like it's almost like the music is saying like you're in trouble. And then the romantic music, it's like you can sing along and make up like really cheesy love lyrics to it.
Oh, I remember it was like one of the like I think when they do like the boat montage of Dwan, I remember going, it was like, oh, this really has like a Bond vibe.
Yes.
Like yeah.
And then actually at the end of that little montage too, it cuts back to the island and it does like a dark and dreary sound, and it reminded me of Twin Peaks.
Yeah. I like movies soundtracks when it's like when I feel like the melody is like in the forefront, and it's like I feel like especially like nowadays I feel like it's just so often where it's like there's like more of like an ambient feel and like the melody's like just so kind of lost and buried, and
they have gone away from like the classic like symphony like soundtracks, and they've gone more towards like almost like a Philip Glass type of like it's not so much music as it is like atmosphere type of thing. Like I like the Danny Elfman like Batman soundtrack. I think it's one of the greatest movie soundtracks ever. Yeah. And then like for the Dark Knight, it's like really just like one long drawn out note.
Right.
It's like
yeah.
You could have done so much more with this.
Yeah. It's just it's not a thing like I don't know. Not for me.
Yeah. So that's one couple, but yeah, if you ever watch this movie, pay close attention to the music because it's fantastic.
Yeah, totally.
Probably the second favorite part of the movie besides like the sets.
Okay. So so the movie is it's the boat, it's the island, it's the city. So
they hit all the beats. They got that right.
So I
good start.
So I guess we start with the boat.
The dude Jeff Bridges, he like pretends he's drunk, drops a bunch of money, sneaks his way onto the boat as a stowaway. You're introduced to Charles Grodin, who passed away recently, but fantastic actor. You ever see Clifford with Martin Short playing the role of a young child?
No.
It is one of those movies that you just have to see at least once to experience, because he actually plays like an old man version of himself and a young child version of himself.
Okay.
And then Charles Grodin is his uncle, who he just ruins. So imagine that guy like having a little kid pissing him off for an entire movie and just like snapping.
Okay.
So that's what Clifford is.
So when the last episode when you said Rampage was like a Negan origin story, part of me was like really trying to like force it in my head that like this is like a Big Lebowski, like the dude origin story.
Could be.
And I was like, oh, he's like, he's kind of a hippie type character.
He has the same look, yeah.
Yeah, right.
It could be.
Maybe these adventures with Skull Island just turned him into the dude.
I don't know what it was, but I feel like I just didn't want to connect these movies, whereas like I wanted to connect Negan and
Walking Dead.
I don't know. I don't think this movie needed the tie-in.
Yeah, it was just in my head as you said it the last episode. But yeah, the boat goes on for eternity. Just in true Peter Jackson fashion.
It goes on way too long. There's a good scene, though, where Charles Grodin is trying to explain why they're going to this island and what they're looking for. And he sounds like an oil prospector, like trying to make a sale. Like he's like selling the crew on this after he's already got them on board.
Yeah, like you're already here, yeah.
Yeah. And then Jeff Bridges shows up during the meeting, and he's just like the environmentalist type of guy who's like talking about how he's probably not right. Yeah,
then he becomes like the photographer for the for the expedition.
Long story short, he admits he's a stowaway. It's like, what are you going to do? Throw me overboard? Well, no, obviously we're a publicly traded company. We can't do that. Just in case there are spies on here that would give them ammunition against us. Also, the name of that company, Petrox.
Yeah, Petrox.
Petrox.
Yeah, so that, I mean, here's like a problem. I have like a lot of the characters in this movie. I think putting Dwan maybe aside.
Dwan. The 30 Rock character.
Oh. But it's like they all kind of got like sliding motivations to kind of fit whatever scene they're in.
Yeah.
Like like Jeff Bridges is like, yeah, he comes on and he's like, you know, like it's unclear to me why he actually stows away, like because he's like
he's interested in the island too, but not from a profitable standpoint. It's more curiosity. He's been studying it for a while,
but he like kind of takes like the posture in like one scene of like, like I'm the environmentalist guy, and then it's like the next scene he's like, okay, I'm your photographer, and then like later in the movie,
well, he does say that he'll pay his way.
Yeah, but so that like later in the movie, like, you know, when he like is giving like a morality speech about Kong, like later in the movie, like what's the character's name? Wilson, the actor's name, the bad guy,
Charles Grodin.
Like Grodin's like, he's like, well, you're gonna tear up your contract to not be part of the Kong show, and he's like, okay, you know,
yeah, he's allured by money.
Just everyone's like motivations and whatever just kind of flop around, like.
He redeems himself though at the end. He does eventually break his contract and tells Grodin that he gave his money away to charity and puts the receipt in his pocket. He's like, sue me.
But even like Grodin, like at times like seems like a total asshole, then other times he kind of seems like, he's an alright guy, but he, like, I mean, that doesn't last long. Like he doesn't seem like a bad guy for chunks of the movie. Then
yes, he's not. I don't think he's nefarious in the ways that like you'd expect a typical bad guy, but I think his motivation is since he bet the farm on Skull Island being like the biggest oil boon in ever.
Right.
And then the teacher from It's Always Sunny tells him that it needs another 10,000 years before it can become like usable oil. So he lost everything. So now he's like, well, I need to do something to make money or else I'm ruined. So he captures Kong. He's like, all right, I'll be a song and dance man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, see how fast we got to that part of the story?
Yeah.
This movie doesn't. It's just like,
it takes a while.
If you are out there going to remake King Kong, you do not need the boat part to be like a third of your movie.
No, you need it to be about probably like 15, 20 minutes.
And if you're going to put them on the boat for that long, like do something to develop their characters. Like, because nobody does anything to develop their characters when they're on the boat. Like, it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's just like a couple like random scenes kind of played for laughs. Like, or whatever. They get to one, like, you know, and she makes a whole bunch of jokes with like, oh, I was on this yacht and I survived because they all went down to watch Deep Throat and the boat blew up. And here I am. I got saved because I didn't want to watch Deep Throat. Or said something like I got saved by Deep Throat. And it was like, and I was like, really?
That's actually not the only Nixon reference because
no, Deep Throat's a famous porn.
No, I know that, but Deep Throat is the
also the Watergate. Yeah.
So there's when Charles Grodin's like, oh, I won't tell you where I got these, but you know, I made a very significant donation to him. I think he lives on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Oh yeah.
I think when this movie came out, I think it was Ford who was in office and not Nixon. But I always thought of it as a Nixon reference.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, again, like the country's in the throes of the energy crisis of the 70s. So yeah, it's just like, oh, it's all this like that's like. I feel like I was like watching like the sleazy version of King Kong for like most of this movie, I guess.
It's I like it in the sense that it's not your typical like cookie cutter movie. Like Jeff Bridges is like the white meat baby face and Charles Grodin's the dastardly chicken shit heel.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're not like that. I'm glad that there's a little bit more humanity based in their decision making. Dwan is just sort of like a damsel in distress, kind of like, you know, she's there to be, you know, eye candy basically. Nothing really of
She's
substance.
very, yeah. It was like, I don't know. It was almost like shocking to like go like, it was like, wow. I was like, they just like totally objectify her, like from a movie making point of view.
From the second she gets there, they're trying to undress her. Someone like oogles her and whistles at her. Like she's eye candy.
Yeah, but it's like, even from like a movie filming point of view, it was like this is like the sort of shit that like actresses like had to play roles like. They just get like object. It was like uncomfortable to like watch.
It wasn't
for,
a woman
like,
right in this movie.
No. And it was like, I was like, oh my god. Like, and at first I was like, this is like I don't know. Like I'm not the overly sensitive type, but I was like watching it going like, I was like, oh man. I was like, this is like a bad product of its time.
Yes.
Like, but at the same time too, though, like I kind of think she becomes a better, well, in the second act of the movie, I think she's like a much better character when she's like, when she's like actually captured by Kong and she's like kind of like not mouthy, but like she's like trying to talk her way out of the situation with Kong. And I was like, all right, this is good. But then everyone kind of reverts to doing stupid shit in the third act, which we'll talk about later.
So let's get to the island. Beautiful set. Like,
yes.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They get to the natives on the island pretty quickly, and I don't know. I didn't think it was necessarily like disrespectful the way they were portraying the natives. I thought it was a pretty honest portrayal of like, they don't speak the language, so they're trying to communicate, and they have their superstitions. Basically, they think Kong is their god, and he's giving them their magic and their power.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to make a trade for Dwan. They won't accept it, so they get a little hostile. And then I like how Jeff Bridges has to tell everybody, shoot in the air repeatedly.
Yeah.
like just to make sure that they do, like, because probably some of them dumb guys and wouldn't do it unless told.
It reminded me of in Star Wars in the cantina, we're like, no blasters. I would say like, yeah, and like when we talked about the Peter Jackson movie, like how like the concept of like treating natives like the others, I would say like on the other scale, this is lower than Peter Jackson's.
Oh, way lower, yeah.
Because I remember like watching Peter Jackson was going like, yo, this came out like 2005 or something like that, and I was like, this shit's messed up. I was like
they gave them like boats and they're like stealthily like canoeing to their boat, whereas Peter Jackson has them like pogoing on sticks out to their boat.
Yeah, the Peter Jackson, that part was like fucking insane with the Peter Jackson one, but like
you like made them into like the elves in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's just Kong remakes. But like, yeah, you don't see any of the islanders. You don't see any like their villages. Like, there's no village shots, right? It's all just the wall, right?
It's just the wall, yeah.
Now that I know it costs $800,000, I guess that's probably why.
But I mean, money well spent, in my opinion. Like, the wall was
that's like the best.
Great. Like, they had the big giant tree trunk as the stopper.
Oh yeah,
that they had to move. Like, that looked. I thought this stuff looked really good.
God, I hope they like reuse that for like some other movies or something, because like,
what other movies has a giant?
I know, yeah, I was like
bamboo wall.
Yeah, but yeah, then we get Kong. Did you like the suit?
I thought the suit was fine. Like, I thought it looked good. Like, it was humanoid. Like, it just like Jeff Bridges earlier says like, oh, these ancient scrolls and like Rome like describe like a giant humanoid object like out there, and like he thinks that it's like the fog is the whatever animals out there, it's their breath like condensing in the mist or whatever. But I thought Kong looked awesome, to be honest with you. I really like the animatronic mouth. That like, I thought they synced it up well.
Yeah, I didn't.
Perfect.
I like the head. I agree with you on the head. I didn't like the body. It just like, there was like some like wide shots where I was like, there's
a shot where he's pounding his chest. And you can kind of see it like bulge in a little bit.
Yeah,
it's like when Godzilla's like his dorsal plates kind of like bend real easy.
Yeah, but this has like, like 15 times the budget.
Oh yeah,
it's like, so that's
totally.
why I was kind of like,
totally, yeah. But it makes sense if they tried to rush this.
If it was a Toho movie, I would have been like, yeah, whatever, cool. Although, like, I feel like the comparable Toho suits in the 70s look a lot better. But I mean, obviously not. Can't compare this suit to the Kong suit the Toho used. That it wins that battle.
Yeah, you can compare this Kong suit to like Mechagodzilla or Gigan or Megalon.
Well, those win for sure.
Oh yeah.
But if you compare this to like, Kong in '62 or King Kong Escapes, like, well, this one certainly wins.
Yeah, absolutely. But to be honest with you, I like it. I don't think it looks as good as Peter Jackson's Kong. I think, what they did with that, it looks really good.
Yeah, well, so much as
he doesn't walk on all fours, like on 2 feet though, like a humanoid. He's more of an ape in that movie. But
yeah,
it just looks way better because it's a little bit more refined.
Yeah, I always feel like that's very. I remember I don't remember who wrote or directed that. Like when it came to Skull Island, they were like, yeah, Kong walks on 2 feet. Like that's like what kind of makes him distinct, and like it gives him like that otherworldly nature. It's like, and I always like feel like, I guess this is just take a shot at like Peter Jackson King Kong. It was like, so you removed a trait that like makes Kong like otherworldly. Like that's what makes him unique. But at least but this movie did that. Had him walk upright.
And pretty much everything that happens after this, like the expedition, the Petrox group, they come back and like they shoot their guns in the air again. Scary went away. I'm like, all right, all right, yeah, we can live with this. This is smart, good decision. So the scary went away. They get on the other side of the wall, and they do the infamous tree trunk bridge scene,
which is like out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that was like a thing that like shocked me. Was like they're just going across the log, and then Kong just appears.
Yeah,
and I was like, you didn't hear him coming?
Oh, so one thing I wanted to mention was when Kong first appears and gets Dwan. Why are there trees standing there? Because this is not the first time he's done this. Why is he knocking down like trees? Why isn't there just like a pathway for him to walk? Because he's done this before?
Right? Because yes, that's a very good point.
So a little observation doesn't ruin the movie. Just a little, I get it. You're trying to make the scene he's coming out of the trees,
right?
And it's like a big reveal, but. I think it would have been awesome if you did like a long shot of him like walking from far away, almost like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters, where you see him from further away and it gets closer and you see how big he gets.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think that would have been a better decision. But.
Oh, when they go to the expedition before they all get killed by the log, is that it's like, whatever, they're hunting for Dwan, and like they're kind of like on the phone on the horn with home base at the beach, and they're like. I'm like, oh, I don't know. She's missing, but we better just take a nap for a few. We just better set up camp for the night and just sleep, get a good 8 to 9 hours of shut eye here. And it's like Jeff Bridges like, no, we gotta go after her. And he's like, yeah, all right, I guess we should sleep. Then I'm like, what? Like, y'all don't seem that tired. Like, I don't think you've been at it for that long today. Like.
Not the best decision making going on there. I mean, Jeff Bridges is obviously like, he's getting with Dwan at this point, so he's got to do it. But like everyone else is just kind of probably a little butthurt by that, being like,
Well, he kind of gives into. He goes, yeah, we'll take a nap. Okay.
Well, he needs him. He can't do it alone.
Yeah, well, but then he does do it alone.
They come with him though.
Well, after Kong tosses them all off the logs, then he just kind of does it alone.
Oh, yeah. All right. Fair enough. Speaking of the log tossing, not the greatest looking falling off the logs. Like, obviously, it's a product of the times, but, like, you could tell it's just, like, that old, like, Vertigo trick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like the same thing. Wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I think the 33 still looked way better than that one.
Pretty much, I think, like, most everything that Kong does in this movie looked better in the 33 version. And like, oh, I didn't even mention it. We were like doing the setup. Like when Universal was going to the movie, they talked about doing stop motion. They said, no, it's too expensive in the 70s.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, the same thing with this movie too. And it's like, I think that's really a testament to how good those like 33 stop motion effects and stuff can look in movies. Cause I feel like that would have been a lot better here, but
would be great to get like a remake of Kong and with like stop motion stuff.
Yeah.
Not modern, but anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
So the log scene happens, and then instead of a Tyrannosaurus or whatever, Gorosaurus, whatever you have, you get a giant snake. And what do you think of the snake?
You get the snake in the original 33 one, right? Doesn't he go from he fights the T-Rex, then the pterodactyl, and then doesn't he fight the snake? Yeah, he fights the snake too, right?
But this is more like it's trying to combine the T-Rex fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I like at first when the snake prop came out, I said it looks all right, but then it like basically just like wraps around him, and it just felt like a dude like fake fighting with a hose. And I was like on the extended cut of the movie, like that fight goes on for like a lot longer. And the two things that are different is like in the movie, it's like pretty sweet, like breaks the jaw and just like rips it open, like blood and all that stuff goes everywhere. And the extended cut, he kind of breaks it like off camera, so you don't get all the blood because it was the TV version.
All right.
But yeah, it was just kind of like I was like, this is like a dude rolling around with like a hose wrapped around him.
I was very underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I didn't think the snake looked great. The fight was short, dumb, pointless, kind of. Would have been better if they had like a T-Rex fight.
Yeah, it's like I wish some of that money, when maybe that some of that 1.5 million that went to the animatronic, maybe went to like any other sort of creature suit that you could have put another dude in, and have him throw the grapple a little bit.
Yeah. So where does rank in terms of monster movie fights? Pretty low, right?
I'm actually trying to think what could be worse than this. This could be at the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can think of something off the top of my head really quick that's like worse. This like reminds me of like in the Ed Wood movie Bride of the Monster, which ends with like Bela Lugosi like getting like ensnared by like his like pet octopus that he used to feed people to. But like, and it was like when they were filming it, it was like they stole the octopus prop from like the Universal lot, but they forgot to take the motor. And so like it didn't like turn on, like the arms didn't move. So Bela Lugosi, like in real life, legit just lays down on the octopus. And he just flails the arms on himself, and that's like it reminded me of that. Bride of the Monster is a fantastic Ed Wood movie. It's like right up there with like, I shouldn't say it's as good as Plan 9, but it's in the ballpark of Plan 9. It's fantastic if you haven't seen it.
I haven't. I should investigate.
It's a good one. It's a good one. But yeah, it reminded me of
further.
It reminded me of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, watching this again, I was like, this is one of the worst monster fights I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like I you said it, and I really can't think of I can't really think of like another one.
Like the Peter Jackson, like I thought the island stuff was way better in that movie. Like once Kong appears, like all the action and stuff, way better in that movie than this one.
Yeah,
that's like the only thing I really think Peter Jackson's version has a leg up on.
Yeah, because that was just really stupid.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah, if I think of another one, I'll like just blurt it out.
So and then finally we get the rescuing of Dwan and the pursuit. Kong is now breaking down the wall, and there's just a convenient giant ditch.
They dug that up pretty quick. They had all that heavy machinery on the boat. Really convenient.
It was like,
although I guess if they do think they're excavating oil, I guess they probably would have all that stuff.
But. Yeah, but they just lost like 7-8 guys. Like I get that there was a crew of probably like 30-40 people on there, but like you're not digging that hole in that amount of time.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. It's
right. Then
happening.
Rigging up all the ether or whatever they used to knock him out.
Like you're not doing, that's like a several day long project digging that hole.
Yeah.
Because it was deep and big. It was at least 40 feet long, probably like 20 feet wide, and probably like 15-20 feet deep. Like you could see Kong's arm like raise up out of it and then go back down. Like
which I always thought was a cool scene.
Yes.
I always thought was sweet.
It's good, but I'm just getting stuck on like the semantics of digging that enormous hole for this plan to be hatched.
Also, Kong, fortunately, it's not even like that hole is like right in front of the door. It's like, Kong's gonna take like several paces to fall in that hole, and what if he went to like the left or the right? Like he just would have missed the hole.
Right.
But fortunately, he just runs straight ahead, right into the hole.
So, breaking down the wall, I thought was really cool. The ether like trapping him is really cool if you take away like how they got that hole dug so fast. Like I thought the scene was really good. And then you're back on the boat, unfortunately.
It's kind of quick.
This is where
though.
the movie kind of comes to a screeching halt.
Yeah, this I think I just feel like it just I don't even know how long it goes on for, but it feels like there's like a lot of time where it's just like weird Morsha going like, oh yeah, we're going back to New York, and and Kong gets in a rage, and like Dwan's scarf like falls down there in the hole, which like the scale from like the scarf going from Dwan's neck to like landing on Kong, like it grows like 30 times in size. It's like huge.
Yeah.
Like when he holds it in his hand, it was like that's almost like half the size of Dwan.
Yeah.
That scarf.
Also the size of that tank is just like
ginormous.
Like I'm sorry, like I don't believe that that's how big oil tanks are in ships. Like not that big.
We just watched Godzilla versus Kong. It's got to be like in the same sort of. I don't know. I can't even keep this going.
No. Like it just seemed like, because like I get that they're enormous.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, King Kong, who's 40 feet high, they said, jumps up and cannot reach the top.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
So that's where my was kind of like, that's a little too big. You know.
Yeah. I thought, the end of Dwan being a good character is pretty much in this chunk of the movie where she goes in and she's like, she's like kind of like talking Kong down and like calming him down and stuff like that. Like, it is like, this is like, again, critique I had with the Peter Jackson one. Like, Dwan is like very sympathetic towards Kong, but she's like afraid of Kong, but she's very sympathetic. Whereas like Ian in the Peter Jackson one is like weirdly like in love with Kong, and so it's like, so I feel like Dwan is done how like the way Dwan is talking to Kong makes sense to me, and I was like, okay, that's good. She's becoming my favorite character in the movie. But then again, when they get to New York, everybody does stupid shit, and it all goes out the window. So
yeah, so they're doing the big Kong show reveal thing,
the big animatronic Kong show reveal.
Yeah, and it's like Jeff Bridges, finally just is like, I'm not doing your dang show, and donates his money to
Do I
charity.
really gotta swear?
Yeah. And he's trying to get Dwan to go with him, but she's reluctant, and obviously that's when Charles Grodin's like, I'll make sure you never work in this town again. You'll be tap dancing in Rotary clubs for the rest of your life. And I was like, that is a brutal line to tell somebody.
Yeah. Now he is full-fledged heel at this point in the movie.
Yeah, he's a bad guy now.
Yeah.
But like, he's just trying to con or make a buck. And
yeah.
So he's got Kong tied up in this cage, and he's chained up and stuff.
Well, he's covered under a giant gas pump, which I laughed. I forgot all about that because I haven't seen this movie in probably 20 plus years. And like when that giant gas pump came out, I remembered it, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's hysterical!"
It's just like, I don't know, like he's out in the open, so everyone can see him. So there's no like mystery. They don't like wheel him out behind anything or have any curtains, which would be like a smart reveal. Instead, it's just like, nope, he's just out in the open, and there he is, this giant ape monster who we've captured for your amusement.
Like, I can see this movie happening in real life in like a year or two, and it's like Elon Musk is the one who is like captured Kong, and he puts him on display, and like, but he has Kong covered under like a giant like Tesla car or some stupid shit like that. Because this would be like a stupid Elon Musk plan, this whole production.
Tell me how you really feel.
It'd be a stupid fucking plan that jackass would do.
Him or Bezos. Jeffrey Bezos.
Was that the Spirit of Halloween song?
It was a song. It was a really dumb song written to like make fun of him.
Oh, yeah.
And other billionaires.
As was, you need to do the Spirit of Halloween song, which also, we're getting sidetracked, but there was like someone made like a Spirit of Halloween song last year, and then they did a sequel this year, which wasn't as good. But it was like, just like, there's like just a part about how like Spirit is like taking up all like these like vacant buildings that used to be like whatever, different like shopping centers or Sears or something like that. And it's like, like the whole song's about like Spirit Halloween and like the stupid stuff you encounter at Spirit Halloween. But then towards the end, he goes, Jeff Bezos killed Sears, Toys R Us, and he like just names all these businesses like Amazon effectively killed. It's really funny.
No, I don't think this is the same song.
Oh, well. I'll look that up. You look this up. But anyway, yeah. So the animatronic Kong is revealed.
And
for all of our enjoyment.
It's not great looking, so you only see it for a second, and it just kind of like drops pieces of the cage as Kong is escaping, which Charles Grodin is just shocked by because he had it inspected by the New York City government.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Everyone's just like, he's like, oh, nothing to fear. It's inspected by the New York City government. Everyone just gets real quiet all of a sudden. They're like, oh no. And Kong's like escaping from it like really easy. Like, oh, his legs are still chained, and then he immediately escapes from that. It's like it's almost like everything he says is going to happen. It's like, nope.
I was actually like kind of surprised that like those animatronic scenes are so bad, but I was like actually surprised they like kept them in.
Yeah, because when they have it like
when he's in the cage, when he's caged up.
But
that was okay.
But when he's in the suit and you see like the crowd of people too, like superposed in, I think that looks better.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's like jarringly bad.
Yeah.
Like There's like one part, like, yeah, the cage is breaking, his arms just kind of like flop.
Yeah.
Like, I was
And,
like,
like,
oh boy.
Really, the only thing he could do is move his the bottom part
Yeah.
of his arms. He can't even move the arms like on the shoulder parts. It's just like the elbows down.
Yeah, that was oh god, I'm trying to remember how tall the because they made like a they call it the Cybot Godzilla. It was like also like an animatronic Godzilla for Godzilla 85 that I think was like also like 30 or 40 feet tall, but like
Yes.
that one actually like worked.
Yeah.
And like wouldn't it have been awesome if like they just like had the two of those animatronic robots like fight, which would really just consist of Godzilla one just stomping over the
Well,
Kong one because it can't move its arms.
It's Heisei. It would just be atomic breaths.
That's true. It would just stand far back and just fire away.
But yeah, Kong escapes, and this is where we get to my favorite scene of the movie. He's chasing. Before we get to that, he steps on Charles Grodin as he's escaping.
Yeah.
And I like how in the crowd is in sheer panic now. It's like a mini riot, and as he's escaping, or as everyone's running around, like the people who Charles Grodin kind of pilfered on this expedition, like are calling him out. It's like, you so and so, and he's like, oh, he gets like almost more afraid of them than Kong. So he turns around and sees Kong standing over him, and that's where you see him get squished. Good squish.
Good squish.
What up, Marcus? I know you're listening.
You look like this guy.
Kind of, yeah. So that's the end of him. He's dead, and so Kong is chasing Dwan and the dude, and
The dude bad.
they get into this train, and Kong's like stopping the train, and Dwan and the dude escape, but there's another girl who's similarly dressed on the train. And Kong pulls her out and looks at her. He's like, and he just chucks her and kills her. So
funny.
immediately this wins over Peter Jackson's
Just
Kong
'cause-
in the New York scene, just for that.
Yeah, like I like how like the 33 one, like Kong like looks. He kind of like loses interest and like drops the girl that he
Yeah.
thought was this one. He's like, nope. Whoom.
Just throws her against the building across the street. And that's when the deleted scene happens too. Like a car drives up to Kong,
Yeah.
he picks it up and throws it through the building.
Oh yeah, then when he throws the train too, it's like all these explosions go
Yes.
off and he throws the train. It's like, what,
Yeah.
he carried fucking
And this is way
10
better. 'cause
containers of gasoline in that train?
This is what a giant monster would do in this situation. It wouldn't ice skate, you know?
Yes, right. Oh my god, wait. I'm glad you reminded me. I can't believe we skipped over. We gotta go back to the island for a second.
Oh yeah. We haven't
Oh
talked
my
about
god. Yeah. He gives Dwan a shower and then he blows her dry.
Yes.
I was like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
this
was
is
very
like, this is stupid. I want this on record. On this podcast.
I agree with you.
Oh my god.
Because that breath must have been so awful.
Yeah.
Like never brushed his teeth. Like, go imagine the shit he's eaten. So must have been like the worst smelling foulness.
Yeah. And here is like a problem with like Dwan's character in this movie, or her acting or whatever. I don't know if it's a character or acting, but like the only time she's like drugged in this movie is like when the Islanders like make her drink like that like milk stuff before
Yeah.
like they put her out. But like other than that, when it's like she doesn't know what to do in a scene, or like when they don't have anything for her to do in a scene, I should say, they just go act like you're drunk. Because like she just kind of like when she's getting blown on, she's like, she's like acts like she's suddenly like drunk and just kind of like struggling to stay up. Granted, could be Kong's awful breath. When she's like on the boat and she's like stressed about Kong, she starts doing that.
Yeah.
Every scene in
So-
New York, she's like,
Yeah, she's very drunk, and she makes the dude buy her a drink.
that was what I said. Everybody starts doing stupid shit in the third act. Well, first, they're like the dude. We're just gonna call him the dude from here on out.
Yep.
And Dwan are like running through New York, and like one dude's on a motorcycle, and
And
just
he
like kind of falls
falls
off his
off,
motorcycle. He
and
goes,
this
you
is
know
the-
what? I'm just gonna take off on foot,
Yeah.
so you guys can have a motorcycle.
It was that was pretty dumb.
Oh, there's a
I-
deleted scene right before that with the dude tries to hotwire a car. And she's like, you don't know how to hotwire a car? And he's like, I don't know. And then fortunately, this guy just gives up his motorcycle and they're like, sick, let's get out of here. But then, yeah, she's like, buy me a drink, dude. Make me a white Russian. And they go into like,
Don't drink on Shabbos.
and then they go to like a basement bar. or it's like a ground level, but it seems like they go down a few steps.
It's
but like,
very
it's
reminiscent.
low.
It's very reminiscent of a Boston establishment by the name of Cheers.
Yeah.
Who Carla's first husband, Nick, he has a power where he can blow his breath on like a woman's neck, and instantly they're like infatuated with him.
Oh, it's like,
so maybe
Kong has the same.
I was going to say maybe that's what Kong has.
And so like so they're like, okay, let's go to the bar, and then they're down there, and then like,
well, the dude looks up, he's like, I've seen this view before.
Oh,
I can't
God,
remember where.
yeah.
And it ties into where he gets the idea for finale, was the two giant rocks on Skull Island where Kong kind of makes his home.
Right.
It resembles the
World Trade Center.
World Trade Center. Yeah. So that's where he's at the bar and he gets the idea. He goes to the army dudes and there's like, we got to lure him to the World Trade Center to get him up there.
Yeah. But let's look at the bar for a moment.
Okay.
Because
the bars and the cars.
Because first they sit in the bar and they have this like weird conversation. It was like, oh, remember like the Great Blackout of like whatever a few years ago? Then like 9 months later, like all those kids were born. Cheers to all the Kong babies that are coming tonight. I'll drink to that. And then like, I don't know, the dude goes off to do something, and Dwan's just like sitting there, and very silently, Kong's giant hand, because he somehow finds them in this lower level bar, like, and he just so stealthily just creeps his giant hand into the door and grabs her. And then it's like you get like the shot of like Kong was like peering through the window and spotted her, and I was like, what is this?
So I don't know if you know this, but like giant monsters are oftentimes also ninjas.
Yes.
Like, have you ever seen Jurassic Park 3?
What's like the subtitle for that one?
It's just Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, no. I think I saw the one that came after.
Okay. In Jurassic Park 3, you have the
No, wait. I have seen Jurassic Park 3.
You have the Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
It's slightly bigger than the Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah.
They fight. The Spinosaurus wins. Later on in the movie, like, the kids reunited with the parents, but they're on the separate sides of the gate. And so there's like the Spinosaurus ate one of the people who had the guy's cell phone, so they're calling it and they can hear, when it gets a call.
Yes.
So
I remember that.
You hear the cell phone, which is inside this giant monster's stomach, like clear as day, but you don't hear him like approaching, even though like the first movie's like whole thing was based on the Tyrannosaurus approaching.
Right.
With the water.
Right.
Like you didn't feel the vibrations or anything? No?
I haven't really stayed with the Jurassic Park franchise, but it sounds like it's kind of...
There's a drop off.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gotten some like weird twists and turns.
It goes back up, but then there's another drop off.
But yeah, it's like how like early in the movie, it's like when like Kong shakes the dudes off the log, like they're on the log, then suddenly Kong's just like, I'm here.
Yep.
Out of nowhere, surprise, fools.
Yeah.
He's like...
So that's one of the things I don't like about some of these movies, where like at times you hear like a thunderous like bang when they're approaching, and then other times they're just ninjas.
Yeah, they're just they
sneak into bars and kidnap ladies.
Yeah, happens all the time.
So but that's when Jeff Bridges is like, we got to lure him to the World Trade Center and kill him there. Like,
no, he's like, I'll tell you. Yeah, he calls the mayor and he goes, listen, mayor, I'll tell you where he's going. I'll tell you where he's going. But we got to cut a deal. You're going to take him alive. And he's like, okay. Okay, we'll listen to you, random asshole. Yeah, you have a great plan. Yeah, he's only killed, like, I mean, how many innocent people so far? Okay, yeah, we got you, guy.
You know it's not going to happen, so it's like,
They nor should it. He's killed the whole train full of people at this point.
Yeah, so they're going to kill him. And so they get him up to the World Trade Center, and he climbs up that, and that takes, forever and a minute. They get up and down from the World Trade Center very quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like every way the World Trade Center was filmed in this movie, it like feels like an office building that's like only like 30 stories tall.
Right.
It feels very like I never got a sense of scale of the World Trade Center in this movie.
So this is where it's kind of weird, because at this point Jeff Bridges is actively cheering against humanity, and he's cheering for Kong to kill the people who are up, like, flying the helicopters and stuff.
Yeah.
And like he's cheering their deaths.
Yeah, and it's like a couple
it's
like weird.
Very weird.
There's a couple like weird continuity errors in this too, because like there's 3 helicopters that come for Kong, and like he smashes one of them right away, and then the next scene, like that third helicopter's back, and then there's like a very similar looking scene where he does ultimately smashed their helicopter, and then there's only 2. But it was like a pretty glaring, like, because it clearly showed there was only 3, and it just, I don't know, that was kind of glaring. But yeah, Jeff Bridges like cheering like the 3 dudes, the flamethrowers got like blown up. He's like, yeah, and I was like, what? What are you cheering for those dudes' death? That's kind of messed up.
It was very messed up. But this is why this ending is so weird.
Yeah.
The Kong's crushes a second helicopter and it crashes into the Trade Center building. It's like one of those things. It's just kind of like, they like, obviously it was made 20 years before. 25 years before, but like even still, it's just like watching it now. You're just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. I think anything like as soon as like the World Trade Center towers like are invoked, it's a very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Feeling. I'm not going to hold that.
I don't hold it against the movie because how could they possibly have predicted that?
Yeah.
But it's just like one of those things where you just watch it now and you just kind of cringe.
Yeah.
But then eventually they do shoot Kong 100,000 times.
Very bloody.
he looks like Matt Cardona at the end of his match with
Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't mind like when Dwan was like, Kong, like, hold on to me because they won't shoot you. Because like, I thought that was like good because I was like, okay, that's being sympathetic.
Because they even said there's the shot inside the helicopters where they're like, he's got the girl, so they're not shooting at him yet.
Right.
They're like, let's go into a holding pattern about 50 feet above him.
Right. And I thought that was like a good, for like her point of view, like I still thought that like made sense, because like it was like I
don't ever get the sense that Dwan's in love with Kong. It's more along the lines of like she doesn't want him to die.
Right.
It's more out of like. It's out of sympathy than love.
Right.
So,
yeah. But yeah, then he's a bloody mess.
He's a bloody mess. And then he takes a hell of a bump.
Yep.
I really like.
Doesn't he take it off camera though? Ultimately,
no. It's he's down in the ground at first, and then like Dwan's like about to approach him, and then he rolls off.
Yeah, he rolls off, but then isn't his thud
the thud is off screen?
Yeah, that's what
you can see him descending.
Oh yeah. But I meant the hitting the ground was that was off screen.
And they go back to him, and his eyes are kind of watery, and his mouth is all bloody, and like that's when they do the heartbeat thing, and then he's dead, and everyone just kind of crowds around him when his heartbeat.
But is he dead?
Yes,
because there's a sequel to this movie.
I know. but
where he literally gets an artificial heart.
Yes, in this movie he is dead.
Yes, in this movie he's dead. Although Dino Di Laurentis also produces the sequel.
Yes.
So.
But I'm just speaking of this. But
yes.
So he's dead, and Dwan and Jeff Bridges go their separate ways. They decided, their love will remain in the past where it belongs.
Yeah. Nobody says beauty killed the beast. It would have been great if there was like a post-credit scene where Jeff Bridges goes off and buys a rug that like, and he puts it like in his like house and goes, really ties the room together, and that's the final scene. Everybody needs to see The Big Lebowski. Everybody needs to watch.
And then it ends with an Eagles song.
Yeah. No, he hates the Eagles.
I know. That's why.
I was gonna say it ends with a Creedence song because he has all the Creedence tapes in his car.
But it ends with an Eagles song.
These guys hate the fucking Eagles, man. All right, we'll put out APB for all the car with all the Creedence tapes.
It's such a weird thing to get kicked out of a taxi cab for, though. It's not liking the Eagles.
I just hate the fucking Eagles, man.
The 90s were a trip. But anyways, that is Dino De Laurentiis' King Kong. An awkward, yet somehow oddly beautiful movie.
Well, who wants to go first with their ranking?
I'll go first.
Okay.
There's a lot to like about this movie, like from like if you're like a film buff, like I appreciate the scenes, I appreciate the music, I appreciate like the effort that went into making the movie. Some of the stuff is very weird, like the characters at the end of the movie and like
buy me a drink.
I didn't like the snake fight. Yeah. Like so it kind of falls apart, but like it was a rush job. I really like the cast. I think everyone did a really good job, the three main characters. So I do recommend everyone see this movie, but I'm only giving it a 2.
Oh, okay.
Because like it's a remake of the original, which is pretty much flawless and one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I am 1 star in this movie.
Okay.
Without even I don't give bonus points for soundtrack,
I get you.
but
There's just stuff I like about it, but like I know you talked to me about this off pod before we reviewed this, and you were questioning whether
I
you
said it
hated
might be
this
worse
more.
than the Peter Jackson
Yeah.
one.
So
And,
that's why we did a lot of comparisons to that.
Yeah, and it's like I am still torn on that thought, because like, but then I think about it, I was like I said at the beginning, I was like, oh, this feels like the sleazy remake of
Yes.
King Kong, whereas like the Peter Jackson one is just like a really stupid remake of King Kong.
I will say this: rewatching these movies 1 year apart, I didn't think I was going to hate Peter Jackson's as much as I did, because I like the Lord of the Rings movies so much. But like, I really hated watching that. I had a very bad time. Except it was me.
Oh, yeah,
you and Mike
yeah.
watching it on us.
loving to hate it.
Yeah.
But
But like, I didn't think I was going to hate it, and I did. With this, I didn't hate it at all. I actually found stuff that I liked about it. So, it's just a weird movie that falls apart.
yeah, it's like, I think the thing like still infuriates me, like the Peter Jackson King Kong movie, which I know like a lot of people who we like interact with like on Twitter and stuff like that, they all like it. I think we're alone on this Skull Island of hating
Things
it. But
we can agree to disagree on are movies, so
Yeah.
I hold nothing against them. For
I
that.
just go like, oh man, it's like Peter Jackson kept saying how important King Kong was to him, and then he just like he took like a classic story and was like, we're gonna like 2005 blockbusterize it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that like impacts like a lot of creative decisions, which granted, this movie does a lot of the exact same shit.
Mhm.
But I was like, but yeah, it was like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, at least in like Peter Jackson's King Kong, like we still get a whole bunch of like random fights like on the island, which give it like that sense of like wonder.
The Skull Island stuff is, I think, is the only part of the movie that I can actually watch.
And it's like the 33 one, like it's so like the best part of the movie is when they're doing the expedition through the island, and it's like all these like dangers are coming up.
But it's just such a phenomenal movie.
But this movie doesn't have any of that.
Yeah.
It just has like the log scene, the obligatory log scene, and then it has like the worst like monster fight put to film.
Yeah.
The only thing that would be worse is like those older ass movies, which like we haven't covered, and I don't think we probably ever will like on this podcast because they're just kind of what they are. But it's like, no, it's not even fair to compare. I was gonna say like back in the old ass movies, like where they would just say like lizards, starve them, and like glue like fins to their back and have them fight each other.
Yeah.
Like that shit's like horrendous. So putting that stuff aside, I cannot think of a monster fight that's worse than the one in this movie. I've been thinking about it as we've been talking, and I still can't do it.
I can't think of another one worse either. So I think this might be the worst monster fight ever.
You know, it's a better Kong versus Snake fight in King Kong Escapes, where that snake is chasing the boat and Kong throws the rock and it just plops that snake right in the head. That's like the greatest thing of all time.
It's a fantastic movie.
Oh my god, so good. Doctor Who shooting.
I think I 5-starred that one.
Yeah, I think that was oh god. Kong needs like more good movies.
Yes.
Why is Kong in so many bad movies?
Who got a good movie this year?
He did.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah.
For this one, I definitely recommend watching it, but you probably won't love it. I think there's enough there, meat in the bone, to just enjoy it while you got it.
We do currently have a poll that you put up on our Twitter where Peter Jackson's Kong is running away with it at the moment.
I think I saw it was 9 votes, and 6 were for that, and 3 were for this movie.
Yeah.
So it was 67 and 33, which I expect to be. I posted that just so more people could say Peter Jackson is way better, and I anticipated probably like a 10-to-1 ratio.
Oh God, it's a lot more votes.
How many votes are there now?
18.
Oh, all right.
So we just put this up about like 2 hours ago. 18 votes, 78% favor Peter Jackson's King Kong.
That's about what I expected.
And it's still got like I said, only been up for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I guess we need to do more polls on our Twitter.
Yeah, I thought it was.
We used to do it the early days, the OIWF. But
but
then we wanted to book the territory.
Yeah, it's better if we just make the decisions.
I can't trust the listeners as to what they want.
I think that's it too. Yeah. I'd rather just.
Do you think Vince McMahon listens to the crowd? No,
absolutely
no.
not.
We because you can't be trusted.
No.
You can't be trusted to book what you want. Come on.
So we get a book for an audience of 1 apiece.
Yeah.
You're going to hear all about that coming up. Hey, you got any figs?
I did. Well, I thought I was going to have a lot more to talk about, but I guess still got a shipment in the mail. So
Cool.
only got one to talk about. So Hobby Lake Japan was doing a sale on shipping, a holiday sale, and of course I bid at that offer, but like the holiday sale was like not on DHL or FedEx shipping. It was on like a new shipping that they're trying to push, and it's like 2 to 9 days, and I think we're about day 8, and I think it's actually going to turn more into like day 13 when we get that.
Yeah.
But
it's also close to the holidays too, so you
it
kind
is.
of expect
It is,
that.
and you know what? Still, I'm not minding. It was a good deal. It was like almost like what normally would be like $30 shipping, like was like I don't know, $10, $8, something like that. So.
Okay.
But I did get one thing. Inspired by our Rampage movie watching, I bought like what is essentially a Stretch Armstrong Lizzie.
Yes.
But like based on like the video game Lizzie,
Yes,
not
it looks
not,
really good.
Not Allie, as she
Yeah.
called it. But like, God, it's so gooey and squishy and gross feeling.
Those things were really awkward.
Like
It was
I forgot.
They were like
how
solids, but so squishy.
Yeah, like I forgot like how gross those things feel. And like just like so like it's really sweet. But so the head is like a hard solid plastic. So when you try to stand it up, the head just weighs the squishy body down.
Yeah.
So I just have to have it like sitting up, like in the corner of like a shelf.
I used to have like Stretch Armstrong's like villains that were like similar designed where they were like squishy bodies, but like the heads were hard plastic, so it kind of like weighed them down a little bit.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But it looks cool though. Supposedly it roars and supposedly it works. I just don't know how to make it work. But so that ended up being the only thing I got this week.
Oh wow! So now it's my turn, huh?
It is, yeah.
I got something. And unlike in the King Kong movie, I'm kind of a showman. I have a curtain reveal for him.
Stop behind a giant gas tank. I know you
It's Blue Boy. It's Angerus.
Trendmasters, God, the later like minifig collection set.
Yeah, so I saw it on eBay for a good price, real good price actually, and I was like, oh, that's why it's so low. And so, kind of segueing away from the figure and into your gift for Christmas, because we're doing a gift exchange this year.
Oh yes,
I have.
We're gonna do it live here on the pod.
Yeah, I purposely did not let you see this before right now because I want to show you what your gift is to get your reaction as to what I did. So if you ever want to make like the death of Angerus OIWF angle, you can feel free because here is a regular Trendmasters Angerus
without arms, tails, or maybe I make a sweet custom out of this.
Yeah, so no arms and no tail, but it did come with a tail.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we could make some like some weird funky arms out of this. But God, this
So yeah, that one didn't come with a tail.
I'm extremely jealous of you having the this like ice blue Trendmasters Angerus variant. This is so sweet looking in person.
Yeah.
I've never actually
look at the tail.
Oh, is it that tail just painted?
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, all right. But you know what? That's a pretty good job though.
Yeah.
I think I know what price you paid for this, and I won't say it to like fuck with other eBay auctions, but like, I think I could live with that for that
it's
price.
for display purposes. I'm not trying to sell it or pass it off as anything. I'm announcing it on our podcast that what I did, I bought a regular Trendmasters Angerus with no arms, but had the tail, ripped the tail off.
You painted the tail.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
well, you did a really good job.
So I got it pretty close shade. It's not 100%. I'd say it's probably like 95% there.
Oh.
But and I just painted the whole thing and then scraped off the paint where the horns are.
Yeah.
So you can still see some of them.
Yeah, well, you did a really good job with that.
Yeah, so I matched the tones pretty well. And like I said, I'm not trying to pass this off as anything, but I will say I paid $20 for this Blue Angerus figure without the tail. And then I paid like $15 for the regular one with the arms.
I will find a use for that.
Yeah.
But
it's a death of Angerus OIWF storyline you could use it for. Or, anything else.
Or maybe he gets like upgraded robotic arms or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But speaking of customs, you could probably also make a pretty sweet custom out of what I have for you.
Oh my.
So here, I'm handing you the bag.
So I get to open it up.
You do. I wrapped it in a liquor package.
Oh. Thank you for this. This is hilarious.
So it's not a Godzilla item, but
even better, it is a
custom Nick Gage waiting to happen.
That's what my friend Corey did with this figure. But this is the bald Shawn Michaels basic. He wrestled one match with a shaved head because he was filming a movie where he was a cancer patient.
Oh, is that why he
That's
did
why
it?
he had a shaved head, yeah. Because now he has like his grandpa hair and it looks
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is fucking hilarious. I will probably just keep it as is just because of how ridiculous.
Because
it's such a ridiculous figure.
You can get like a gross Undertaker and Kane basic and a Triple H basic and just recreate that Saudi Arabia match.
I do need a bald Triple H now. That's still weird though. He's not a bald person.
Bald Triple H?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
he's a long-haired guy.
It suits him better than
No.
bald Shawn Michaels.
No. Absolutely not. Bret Hart ripped out some of his hair. He should have gone bald.
Yeah. But yeah, that shot, it was like, it really could be like very easily a custom Nick Gage.
Oh, so easily. Yeah. Hilarious. Thank you. That is hilarious. I am laughing. But yeah, do you have something else you want to share when it comes to figures?
Oh, we were going to talk about our. Well, yeah, mine is going to lead into my answer to this question of our favorite figures of the year. Now it's the end of the year, Christmas, you know.
I was going to say before that, didn't you have a story to tell?
Oh yeah, well, so I guess to kill two birds with one stone, my purchase of the year, without a doubt, is going to be that Doom Island Angus that I got. That set some collectors groups a flutter that all these Doom Island. So for background, if you listen to our Trendmasters episode, if not, you should go back and listen to our retrospective on the Trendmasters toy line.
We need Kong. The world needs him.
Yeah. But Doom Island was a figure line that was canceled by Trendmasters. And, for years and years and years, like most people thought only like a handful of those figures got out there. And then one seller on eBay over the past year essentially has put up like a whole slew of auctions for these Doom Island Anguirus like armored up figures, the Kumonga figure, the Godzilla one, and nobody knew this many even existed at this point. And I was able to finally get one after I lost a ton of auctions. But I was able to finally get one. And so this guy still has like Doom Island stuff that he's like putting up there. Just stuff that's like not as rare as like Anguirus, Kumonga, whatever. But so anyway, so I reached out to him the other week and I said, hey, I bought one of these off you earlier in the year. And I asked for his permission if it was okay to share this in the pod because I didn't want to mess with his auctions. Mm-hmm. And I said, I just got to ask, like, how did you come across like so many of these? Like in on the collector groups, everyone's like, oh, like he probably like bought like a storage locker or something like that, and like got lucky, something like that, some equivalent to that. And no, he just said he goes they're in local toy stores around where he lives in Taiwan. And he goes, like these toy stores I go to is like they have old American vintage toys like this in stock. Like, and it sounds like fairly cheap, although he doesn't explicitly state that, but he kind of implies that. And he goes, I'm not even sure if these toys ever sold in the United States or if they're even rare. And then I informed him that I was like, dude, well, obviously you're making a lot of money off these since you probably figured it out. I said, but like,
I think they're appropriately priced.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, he goes, I really didn't have an idea because he goes, everyone around here for Godzilla stuff prefers the Stafubi toys and like other Bullmark Marmot toys. And he's like, nobody really cares about the Doom Island toys like around here. He's like, it's just like American buyers that want them. But dude, that was pretty much it. And I asked him if he knew like the toy stores that he got them from, and he goes, I think they bought them like through like some other seller. He goes, but I really don't know. He's like, but yeah, he goes, they're just here chilling in a toy store because nobody wants them around here because they're not like Bullmark Marmot Fubi style figures. This guy is just scooping them up, selling them on eBay. More power to him, you know. But yeah, that Anguirus, that was always a Grail piece that I wanted, and you know, I was stoked to get that, and I actually got that like much cheaper than other people were paying for it. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Well, what's your like top one? And then I'll kind of think of some other.
Oh, without a
stuff I
doubt,
like.
it is Reactor Glow NECA Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
So, like, that is number one with a bullet. No, I don't think there's anything else that even comes close this year. So, like, in terms of like rarity and just like how cool of a figure it is. I think you gave me Anguirus at my birthday this year. Though,
I did. Yeah,
so that would be number 2. And then maybe Gorosaurus rounding out my top 3. Mostly because I never thought I'd get a Gorosaurus figure for that cheap.
yeah, as did most people.
So that was cool.
Yeah, like I'm trying to like. There's been a lot of cool purchases over the year.
You got the Hot Topic one, statue too, didn't you?
Yeah, that's not in the top. That's not in the top. That's not in the top anything. I actually like picked that figure up the other day, like the first time. Like, I mean, what must be like 7 months since I placed it where it's like currently sitting, like Godzilla room. And for whatever reason, I was like, I want to like look at this thing closely, and it's like, and I forgot how terrible the paint job and the teeth is,
Yeah.
and like all the dorsal plates are like molded like shit. It's like half of them are like just like they just look like, I don't know, fucking pine cones that are like misshapen pine cones on his back, and I was like, this is awful. This is so bad. But no, I think getting that like Godzilla 55 and Anguirus, like that rare Bandai two figure set where like Godzilla's like, I don't know, like translucent blue and white, like that was pretty sweet. You know, the Godzilla and King Ghidorah the Ride Bandai figures.
Yeah.
Just like that ridiculous like jacked Godzilla. That was pretty good. Bandai came with a lot of like fucking bangers this year.
Yeah, we got a lot of the GVK figures this year too. You got like the Mechagodzilla figures.
The Ready Player One. Oh, GVK.
Yeah.
They said GMK.
Oh, GV.
Oh yeah, GVK.
The Mechagodzillas, the Kong figures were really cool. I got the Hong Kong Lights Godzilla, which probably my favorite Playmates figure.
Yeah,
overall.
What's next, Playmates? What's next?
Yeah, we got to get some. I think Orga needs to be represented. It's been too long.
I feel like that's like random enough for if Playmates did our 56 Rodan in Gorosaurus, like then why wouldn't they do Orga? Because that's just as random as they could get.
I would like to see an Orga, maybe a Biolante.
Yep.
I don't think they've done a. Oh no, wait, they really released the Bandai Ghidorah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna call those as not counting. I want Playmates original molds.
That's what
they're
I
gonna
mean.
be. They're gonna have a little special flavor all their own, good or bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they made them like the harder plastic, like the GVK figures are, for like a Ghidorah figure.
Yeah,
I think if they made the neck like bendable with like a couple different like joints in it, that would probably be cool.
yeah. Do like you just like the Mechagodzilla tail, and like make
That's
that
what I
like
mean, yeah.
make that like the neck. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
I remember there was like some like scanned, like people didn't know what this meant, but it was like when you for a while it's like when you scan up certain toys, it would come up as like Playmates like Megalon, Playmates like Rodan, and then like the Rodan came out. So like, does that mean like a Megalon is coming?
I would like to see a Megalon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know how those like toys sell nationwide, but I could say like around us, like it seems like they're constantly selling and getting
Yes.
restocked and selling and restocked and selling. So
And they're cheap enough to where like they're the perfect price point for what they are. So,
Yeah.
like
I bet like kids see them and go, oh, like, I want that. Like Jurassic Park seems like be huge with kids right now.
yeah,
And then I bet like that just like transfers over to like Godzilla stuff.
because a lot of those figures for Jurassic Park, like the Indominus Rex figure, it's like $65. So like a lot of parents are gonna be like, we're not gonna get that.
Yeah.
I'll get you the smaller Godzilla one though for
Yeah.
$13.
Listen, and I always, whenever my work does a toy drive, I always buy like whatever cheap Godzilla figures are out, be the Jacks or Playmates, and I put them in the box. Because like if you're a kid and you get a Godzilla, you actually don't need a good guy or a bad guy. You can just have Godzilla and you can just have him knock over any shit that's around you. Perfect toy to give to a kid. And then maybe that kid will start watching Godzilla movies and have his own podcast.
Yeah. The toys are the gateway drug into the movies.
I just like tape a DVD of a burnt DVD of Godzilla versus Megalon to the back of it. It just says "Watch Me," but it's like in the same font as like The Ring. And then I go, "You have 7 days. You're gonna pass this on to another kid." And I just terrify them into spreading the joy of Godzilla through Godzilla versus Megalon.
What a nefarious yet wondrous plan of yours.
Nefarious, wholesome.
Yeah. So that'll do it for the non-kayfabe version of the podcast.
Yeah.
And now... Welcome to the kayfabe zone where secrets are kept. It's at the end of the podcast, so nobody's listening anymore. Oh boy, OIWF time, and it's weird. I hear on the 1-900-909-9900 hotline number that a big angle is planned for my side of the island. I already forget what my island's called. So
I forgot what it was too. Where were you going? Toggle Island and Red Bamboo Island?
Yes, I'm Red Bamboo Island.
Yeah.
So
I got to remember that my side is officially now the Son of Godzilla Island.
You're going to have to remind me on every episode. But big angle is planned. We already had the reveal of the NECA World Order. They're taking over. And now both cursed orders are left holding their lunch. So we got to see where this is going. Could there be room for one more faction, an invasion of sorts? Only time will tell.
Very elite side of that island. Lots of stables. Although I guess mine's also Soggle Island's got its own share of stables, but yeah. Sorry.
We do have Dendai Mecha King Ghidorah, who's his own man.
He walks alone.
Yeah.
He's the Batista. He walks alone.
I was gonna say he's like my Moxley. But that, yeah, I had nothing really match-wise going on. We took a week off just for fun. Vacation.
Yeah.
We went to a tropical island.
We had
not the one we're on right now, but a different tropical
different,
island.
Yeah. I mean, any change of scenery is good.
Yeah.
So we we had our kind of wholesome wrap the year up 6-man tag. We had the Mid-Atlantic champion Carl's Jr. Godzilla teaming with the new tag team champions, TMV, Trendmasters Varan, and Bandai Titanosaurus against the OIWF heavyweight champion, or Soggle Island heavyweight champion, Trendmasters Anguirus, and the former tag champs, Gigan and Biollante. A real crowd pleaser, a 6-man tag, but I don't know what it means for 2022. But all I know is that the Mid-Atlantic champion, Carl's Jr., Godzilla Jr. from Godzilla the Series, scored the pinfall over the world champion, and sent the heels home very, very distraught. They weren't happy with how things played out. And the good guys were standing strong. Everybody went home happy for the holidays. So then I think they're gonna get the rest of the year off. They'll be back at first week of January, where new contenders will rise, and these titles will be defended.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Anguirus is the OIWF champion, but he's not the real world's champion.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there is going to be a slight name modification to the top titles in the business soon.
Maybe. We're still hashing it out.
Yeah, maybe with that, maybe Anguirus will hold a new looking title.
Ooh.
So.
All right.
If but these are all
You
the
hit-
championship committee is having a lot of discussions behind the scenes.
You must have hit up Milliken.
No, just doing having some existing stuff.
All right. Well, Dave Milliken is the one of the top belt makers. In the
Yes.
world, so.
Yes. So
That's where I get my belts. They're all from the top made guy.
Yeah. They're 20 pounds of gold, not 10.
I feel like 20 pounds of gold.
Yeah. So I think in 2022, we had quite the wild year, right? And the OIWF just feuds all over the place. The war between the Cursed Order, the Trendmasters of the Universe, their dominance throughout the year. We saw stars rise between NECA burning Godzilla holding the Intercontinental title. At times.
Record. I think he's at a record 3 times right now.
Yeah, that was actually starting. I think it was even higher. Like we saw the NECA World Order. We saw the rise of TMV becoming a fan favorite. Just was quite a year in the figure fed.
The death of Kamada-kun and the rise of Shin Godzilla.
Yeah. I
Mid-Atlantic
mean,
division.
he hasn't been seen since he dropped the Mid-Atlantic title to Carlos Jr. Godzilla Jr., but
Maybe
I'm
it's
sure he'll be back.
Maybe it's because when NECA Shin Godzilla vanished, he kind of came in. Maybe you never see him at the same place at the same time.
Maybe there is something going on there to that. I don't know. But I think big things will be on the horizon for the OIWF.
Yeah.
That really fills the void of our Twitter posting throughout the week when we just really need something, because we don't really wade into the Twitter drama when people are fighting about stuff on Twitter, because that's not for us.
I kind of do it on my personal.
Yeah.
Twitter,
I like it when we just go, hey, you haven't heard from us a couple of days. Oh, I don't know. Here's like a hardcore match between the highlight of the OIWF might have been like, oh my God, I just got this super rare Anguirus Trendmasters figure that like we don't know how many in the world exist. Okay, well now it's going to be in a hardcore match against this Bandai Titanosaurus figure that people pay crazy amounts of money for. And I'm throwing dollar store like tables and bridges like at them while I'm snapping pictures of it, going like, this is what I'm doing.
I enjoy setting up my supposedly collectible figures, just kicking each other in the dicks. That's sort of the highlight for me.
Yeah, the OIWF is like such like, I don't think like really anybody gives a shit about this part of the podcast, but it always gets like a lot of like weird Twitter engagements, and like, but also like myself personally, when I'm sitting going like, and I'm like just arranging the figures and booking matches, and like sometimes like they give like short storylines of it. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous, but awesome.
Yes. It gets the creative juices flowing.
We will have OIWF shirts and merchandise before we have actual podcast Moto Island shirts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We haven't merchandised yet, but we got to merchandise the OIWF.
Yeah, I think just like there's so many sites we just get those like print to order shirts. Like we just gotta throw some OIWF stuff up there. We're gonna be like, like how like people have like pro wrestling tees shirts, like, and they just go like they think of something like 1 week and like going up in our pro wrestling tee store.
That's what we need. We need to be a t-shirt company.
That's right. We're a podcast to sell t-shirts.
Yeah. We do we're like the Good Brothers who wrestle so they could do their podcast. We're like, we do the podcast so we can sell t-shirts.
Yep. So, no. I mean, looking ahead to 2022, maybe we'll try to cover some other interesting topics. I like it when we do like deep dives on like topics. Like, I like that.
Yeah, maybe we could do a deep dive into some stuff going forward next year, since we're going to be wrapping up Godzilla stuff.
Yeah.
Really.
But we did talk about rebooking the territory.
Yes.
Do a movie, rebook it.
Yeah.
What was the other idea we had?
Versus.
Oh yeah, 2 movies versus each other.
Yeah. But
that would actually probably be all more interesting than just us talking about movies.
Speaking of which, though, getting to our next topic for the next episode, we're closing it out. Godzilla's done.
Yeah, this is the last Godzilla movie for us to do.
Yeah, it is the Heisei Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla movie.
One that you have not seen.
I have not seen it. I mean, I've seen Chubby Cheeks, but I haven't seen the movie.
Mechagodzilla himself. Yes.
Yeah. I haven't seen the movie in its entirety.
Yeah.
My introduction to this version of Mechagodzilla was the Xbox video game.
Oh.
And he was like a download, not unlockable characters, downloadable. Yeah.
For me, this is so I got into Godzilla right when this movie came out in '94, and so like I'm like I don't know, I probably mentioned the pod before. It's like my parents like found someone who like imported and bootlegged like those movies like really quickly, and so like even though like a lot of the first movies I saw like Godzilla versus Megalon, like whatever they were like selling like for like VHS like in like Toys R Us or whatever at the time, this is also one of the first Godzilla movies I ever saw. But
that's the last one for me.
And we'll see what my view of it is now.
Yeah, I've not heard too many things about this movie, good or bad. So I'm going in with like a pretty neutral, clean slate to judge it on. And my opinion definitely matters. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna leave it there.
All right. So 2 weeks from now, next episode. But you got anything you want to say to the audience as we leave?
That's me blowing you dry after I held you under the waterfall like Kong.
It smells like vinegar.